Like, it's crazy getting to my 30s because people are getting older. And some people are getting old quick.
Yeah.
Like, you could see it in their face. And some people are aging well. Like, before we start this podcast, guys, go ahead and subscribe, like, turn those notifications on. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Facebook. It really supports the podcast and helps us grow, guys. Thank you guys for all your support. You're continuing to watch us. I love you guys. Enjoy the episode. It's like a point in my life where you're starting to see all those people that made bad decisions. All those bad decisions become a bad life. But I've learned through podcasting with EJ on Not So Anonymous podcast, but that people turn it around.
Yeah.
You know, some people do. It is a way out to turn it around.
The people that want to change are the ones that change.
But it's so crazy watching people get older, and you're like, I just saw them like 2 days ago, but it's been like 5 years since you've seen them. Of course they get older, right?
You look young still. I mean, you are pretty young.
32. I need to make money, like a bunch of money. Like, I'm talking about life-changing money by the time I'm 35. I'm talking about be a millionaire by the time I'm 35.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know if it will happen, but I wanted so I could start like investing into everything, every Mexican supplement that you could name. You know, I'm gonna be on it.
Your arm is gonna be all big. You're like gonna be all small. Like,
well, I feel good. Like, I feel athletically. Yesterday me and Coach Jose went to Coffee Crew and Solidarity.
Where is that at though?
It's in San Jose.
Oh, okay.
And Solidarity Jiu-Jitsu. But we went, and I still feel like good. You know, even though like there's times when I'm like, man, I am getting older, but I don't know. I think it's because I wasn't working out, and I'm starting to routinely work out now, and I'm feeling good.
That's good.
Yeah. Like, I was pushing. I mean, I was like, fuck yeah. I did it in the morning. I did jiu-jitsu in the morning. Let's get at it. Let's get after it today. And then my body just crashed. Like, you are donezo.
It's like when you've been playing video games and you finally turn it off, and it's like, Yeah.
Yes, that's exactly what happened.
That's exactly.
No, but yeah, it was 2011. It was the Japan earthquake. And what happened was that after the earthquake was a tsunami. But I seen it on the news, and you look at the news and you're like, oh, that's crazy. Wow.
Do you actually remember what happened? Like, you remember this happening?
I remember it happening because of the radiation plant blowing up. Not blowing up, but like just kind of
on high alert. Basically, they didn't know if it was going to go off or not.
It did it released some
toxins or what?
I don't know, but I remember it happening, and then you're like, wow, that's crazy. That sucks. And then you go on with your life.
Mm-hmm.
And I was watching TV one night, and this documentary popped up, and it's called The First 3 Days, the 3/11, the tsunami, the first 3 days. It's on NHK World Japan, or NHK World D Japan on YouTube. But it literally takes all these videos taken through phone, and it takes them through a timeline of like thousands of videos, and it puts them in order. It's like one of the greatest YouTube documentaries I've ever watched, because you go on with your day. Like, you see the news, you go on with your day. Like, that sucks. That's crazy. Like, exactly what's happening in Ukraine, right? We watch it and we're like, oh, that's crazy, right? But you don't see day to day.
Yeah.
Right? You don't see day to day. And the first 3 days of this earthquake, it shows you what happened. And Coco! This podcast is brought to you by Castro's Pole Service and Repair. It's summer, guys. Don't wait till the last minute to get that pole repaired, so you guys can swim in it in the 100-degree weather, or find that reliable service person that's going to keep your pool maintained and up to date for you to swim in during the summer. Their phone number is 209-675-5418. That number is 209-675-5418. Support those that support us. If you guys don't know by now, Raquel has a photo booth that's for all celebrations, business parties, weddings, quinceañeras, birthday parties, grand openings for your business. It's for any kind of event, right? She allows you guys to capture the memory with your friends and family. You could take home a physical copy of the picture. She has the printer on site that you're able to print it out. She'll make you a cool template with the event's name on it. Digitally and physically, you're able to take those pictures home on your phone or on a physical copy, guys. Check her out. Her Instagram is Raquel Diaz Designs. She has 3 affordable prices for packages for your event: silver, gold, and platinum, guys. Go check her out. Raquel Diaz Designs. Love y'all. Peace. It's fucking insane. Like, these people, the water pulls back and there's people literally right by the ocean, and they're like, get out of there, there's a tsunami coming. And to watch it, what really like in depth of what happens, it's mind-blowing, right? Because you think of a natural disaster, you think of, like, they say earthquake is like, wow, that was a big earthquake. You don't think of what happens, the repercussions, the tsunami, the power plant, the radiation plant releasing radiation. Then the biggest thing I was telling you was the fact that getting everybody outside the area, like getting all the people, I don't think they're called refugees, but like getting all the civilians, putting them in places they could stay and sleep, getting food to them, getting aid to them. It takes you through all that. It's pretty wild, man. It's a good documentary. I don't know.
Well, do you remember when we were like in elementary school and they used to have us do like drills, like if there was an earthquake, for us to go under our desks and stuff like that? And I think we talked about it before, where they would have everybody bring like non-perishable food, so in case there was something that happened like that, they would have everybody bring it like a big old Ziploc bag, bring a non-perishable foods, stuff that kind of lasts like a year, obviously throughout for the whole school year while you're in that class. And then they would put it in a big old garbage can. And so everybody would have, like, all the students would have their stuff and put it in there. So they kind of had like a garbage can, and they would put all the food, like everybody's like stuff in there. And then at the end of the year, they would pass it back out to everybody. You know, you'd see kids eating all their stuff or whatever. Well, let me tell you, I never had one of those. Never had one.
Were you ever part of a natural disaster at a school?
At a school, no. But there was recently, a couple days ago, there was an earthquake that hit Turkey and Syria. It was a 6.4 earthquake, and it killed so far 47,000 people.
Like, you could see on the video, it was in the tens, like 10.8, something like that.
Yeah.
You could see the whole building shaking. It's fucking insane on the video I was talking about. But yeah, I had to go. I sat through a lockdown, school lockdown.
What was the event?
Or school lockdown. Some guy robbed a store outside the school, and then I was in an earthquake at school, but nothing like that. Like, I don't know.
I feel like we would get them more because we are kind of on the fault line. You know, like we're closer to the fault line than.
Yeah,
right.
Not in Los Baños.
No, but we're close to the fault line.
On San Jose, yeah. That whole area is all prone to earthquakes. But you saw something, a news article about a documentary that we watched.
Oh, Madeleine McCann? That one? Oh, yeah. This little girl went missing in
Portugal.
She went missing in Portugal around, I'll tell you right now.
But it was a big deal. Like, the documentary goes over like the whole process of them trying to find her.
Yeah.
And it was huge news, like world news. And there's so many conspiracies on what happened to her. And it's a documentary on Netflix. And then Raquel just told me that she was 3
years old when she went missing, and it's happened, I think, in 2006, maybe 2005.
Yeah.
But recently there was a girl from Poland that came out and says that she thinks that she might be the missing girl. They do have some similarities, like a mutation on the eye where like the pupil kind of like goes down more, I guess. And the girl, she's a little older now, obviously, but she does have like a semi mutation that's kind of similar to hers. And she thinks I think they said that Madeline might be 21 but this girl's 19, or she's 21 and Madeline might be 19. So it's something around there, but she doesn't really know. Like, she asks her family like questions and she doesn't really get like positive answers. They kind of just brush it off and like, oh, well, we don't really know, or don't really give her honest answers. So she thinks that she might be this missing girl. But the missing girl's parents, Madeline McCain's parents, they're going to do a DNA test to see if she's even their daughter or not. You know, I mean, if it is, it'd be nice, so that everybody can get closure. But if not, but they're thinking she might be another missing child that went missing too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, anyway, if she's just a missing child, then that's just good that they found her, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, because you get these stories where kids go missing, and then the only reason why they find out who they are is because they're going off to college, or they do something in science class, and then they realize that the people they're with are not even their parents, and they're not adopted.
That's why we were saying that. Well, I was thinking when you told me that like I was never in fear of getting adopted. I mean, of getting kidnapped, right? I was never in fear of getting kidnapped. Like, it's for Eva, like, it scares us where we're like, we go to Target and we just follow her.
Yeah.
But then, like, she's getting older and she's doing these things, and that's where it took us, where we started thinking about it, like, where I started thinking about it, was like, man, our daughter's not street smart.
No,
like,
she's book smart.
Yeah, that was a 3-year-old, right?
Yeah.
Like as she gets older, like there's things that there's a dangerous world out there.
Yeah.
Right. And you were saying like you were saying you're naive as a kid or something.
Yeah, as a kid I didn't really think of like things like that. Like that wasn't on my mind. Like, what if I get kidnapped, or you know, like, or murdered, or.
I think the better question for me of asking you is like, when did you realize like the world was like dangerous? As
a mother having a child, like as I got older.
That was the biggest.
Yeah, like being more aware around things, because I can admit when I was younger I wasn't too aware of things. Like it wasn't on my mind. Like I wasn't in constant fear. Like, what if I go here and I get kidnapped, or you know, something like that. Yeah. And now as I get older, I feel like I'm more aware of my surroundings. Like when we go into Target, and I'll tell Eva like, oh, do you have to use the restroom before like we start walking around? Because it never fails. The moment we get to the food aisle where the frozen stuff, she's like, I have to go to the restroom. You know, and it's kind of like it's a headache, because it's kind of like we literally just walked in the store like a couple minutes and we passed the bathrooms and you didn't say anything then. Like now I have to leave my stuff to make sure you get to the restroom safe. I mean, I would feel horrible if I just let her go by herself and I'm upset, like, okay, just go, and then something happens, you know?
It's women in general, though. Like, even though she's your kid, like, I feel like women in general, even like at clubs or like places, like, they always go to the bathroom together.
Oh, yeah, too? Yeah. Let's go to the bathroom, yeah.
But not, okay, I think a lot of it has to do with, it's like fucking dangerous, but I don't know.
Well, there was a thing where this girl who was Ubering and the guy came from behind her and like got her in a hold. Yeah. And I think she crashed the car or she pulled over or something happened. She got out and he ended up stealing her car and then crashing it.
But you said like, as you became like a mother. Yeah. And then like, I think for me, it was such a young age because of where I grew up at. Like, even though when we talked about this, even though we grew up differently, like you grew up like in poverty and like in a rough, I didn't grow up in the
slums or anything, guys. I just grew up poor.
No, what I'm saying is like you laugh at me when I talk about my child. It's like, well, you had it good. Like, but the one thing I do, and I'm realizing this, is the chaotic childhood, I guess, because of where I grew up. Like I was at a young age, like my being naive I knew dangerous situations. I started to read dangerous situations, and we were talking. I had told you already that playing basketball outside my house, a guy came up to us, me and my brother, saying that someone jumped him, broke a glass over his head. Middle of the day, broke his glass over his head. My dad came outside and let him use the phone. Like the guy started walking up, and my dad told him you can't come on the house, but we could let you use your phone. Like just seeing, he had blood all over his face, and just seeing that, right?
Now I feel though, like as like we get older, if someone comes to the door and they're bleeding, I'm like, I'm thinking like, do I let this person in, or is this person trying to like rob me or something? You know what I mean? Like, but
I've always like, that's like, I've always been like that, right? Like growing up, we didn't have, to even think about it, we had the chain lock. Mm-hmm. We had 2 bolt locks, and then the what's it called? The doorknob, the doorknob lock. Plus, we had a gated fence.
Yeah.
Like I grew up like when I think about it, I'm like, you put things together, it's like, oh, I grew up knowing that the world was fucking dangerous. Like I told you, like my brother getting
beat up twice.
He didn't get beat up twice. Like there's so many. Like we went to go play basketball with kids. My brother was good. They didn't like it. They beat him up. My brother was playing football at the.
He was just playing football.
Playing football at the park, and some Samoan guy was just on top of him, punching him. And I just like, in thinking about those situations, like I start thinking about my childhood, and like there were so many situations where I was with a friend, and then we met people on the block, and they were just random kids. No, you
didn't just say that.
Well, on my neighborhood.
On the block.
Because we'd go ride our bikes or go hang out, and we'd just meet random kids that were also outside, and some of them were bad kids, you know, where the lights turned off on the road and they didn't have to go home, right? It was just so much, like, there were so many crazy things that I barely remember that would happen, where I just had a lot of life lessons at a young age, and it's scary to think that fuck, like, Eva's not gonna have that street smart, right?
Yeah.
So it's scary. Well, we gotta get used to it, I guess. But yeah, and I don't know. It just we watched the fights over the weekend. Well, I bet on the fights, and I lost.
He didn't win nothing.
Yeah, you watched the fights. I think you more know about the fights than most.
Yeah, I watched them.
Even though you don't train.
Yeah, no, I do not train at all. I do not have one athletic bone in my body.
I think you could hold your own, like when you go watch fights with people that have never fought before. I think you could hold your own.
I think when we've gone to, you did an event a couple of weeks ago or whatever, and I'm in there because obviously I'm supposed to be helping you, but I'm like, fuck you, let me just sit my ass down. So I'm spectating, I'm watching the fights, and then I hear, people behind me, like, there was a guy that came up to fight, and I happened to sit in the area where his whole family was, and they were literally talking shit to the other fighter, like, fuck you, da da da, you're gonna get your ass beat. Like, just, I hear that behind me, and I'm like, okay, like, okay. And they're literally yelling, like, they have like maybe 2 sections of like 4 or 5 rows of like just people. And I think it was like into the first round, you know what I'm talking about, right? And their cousin, husband, brother, son, whoever, he gets knocked out. But before that, the whole time they're literally yelling at this other fighter, like, boo, fuck you, like, shit like that, like, you didn't get your fucking ass beat. And I'm like, okay. And then he literally gets knocked out cold. Yeah. And fucking quiet, like nothing. And I feel, and then the guy that knocked him out, he goes over there and taunts them, like, yeah, fuck you, like, he's taunting them. And I'm like, oh well, like, I feel like sometimes it's just, you hear shit like, yeah, fuck it, punch him, fuck him up, fuck that motherfucker up. I'm like, what? I'm like, okay, like, yeah, he could only hear you saying that, like, okay, but it's stuff like that. I'm like, oh, okay, like, yeah.
You've been around it.
Yeah, I've been around it, and I learned to just cheer. You know what I mean? Like, if you have a good crowd around you, like your family, your friends, or whatever, people that are going to be positive and not like start more problems than what it is, I guess. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then everybody's going to have a good time. But man, those people were drunk because one of the guys, he went walking down the stairs. He literally went boom, 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 boom. And he's like, oh, my fucking ass. Like, oh my God, what happened? And I'm like, are you okay? Like, he was drunk as fuck. Like, for sure he was drunk. But he was like, someone spilled something. I'm like, no, dude, you're drunk. You literally fell down the whole stairs. Okay, we gotta cut it.
Yeah, I know.
I gotta get going.
I'm about to end it right now. But thank you guys. Oh no, I was gonna thank you for going to that event. Like you sat there by yourself.
Oh, it was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun.
I never know if you really like. I never know if you're having fun.
Oh no, it was a good time.
Yeah.
I got to eat clam chowder. It was a good time. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm before we end this, I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for that you stand by me, even though I'm frustrating. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't done something. I gotta go. I'm sorry.
I'm grateful for you. But she's gonna take off to the dentist appointment, and we gotta go.
Love you.
I love you too. We'll be back tomorrow, guys. Thanks for listening. Peace.
Put some shoes on.
Thank you for watching The Hassle of Hair. If you guys want to support the podcast, all you got to do is subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. Hit that subscribe button below. If you guys already subscribed, comment below what you have a passion for and what you're striving for in life. What that is that you're trying to do in life that you have a passion for. It could be your hobby. It could be something you're trying to make a career, a professional career as. Let us know. Also, if you guys do want a shirt, we still have small, medium, and XXL, $25 a piece. And yeah, follow us on Instagram, The Hassle of Hair, on Instagram and Facebook. Thank you guys for watching. We love y'all. Peace.